Okay, so let's get started. And I'm going to describe to you what kind of tool we built, or my team built, in order to improve or automate responses which customers ask. Also, how ChatGPT potentially may be used for data analysis, and some different use cases. First of all, right now you can see connection preferences, or basically screen, which we use for configuring what we will pass to ChatGPT in order to analyze information. First one, you can see model, and by default, if you use billable ChatGPT model, you will have access to model Da Vinci models, which is 01, 03, another 03, GPT 3.5 Turbo, and Turbo 16K. I recommend to use 16K because it gives you possibility to use this quantity of tokens, 32,000, 6, 7, 8. And want to mention what is a token. Some people thought that token is quantity of characters. It is not true. Token is a word, or basically it may be a word. It may be also punctuation mark, like comma, exclamation mark, or question mark, and some other elements. Like overall ratio, like quantity of tokens versus quantity of words is like 2/3 tokens. So basically 32,000 tokens means around 35,000 words. And what kind of hypothesis we have when we built the project? We assume that customer is usually ask information on sales orders, shipments, invoices, and customer balance. Also, because ChatGPT does not allow to send huge question, we send 20 latest sales orders, we send 20 shipments, we send 20 last invoices, and 20 latest customer balance. If to increase this number to, let's say, 40, we will again send 40 to ChatGPT kind of information, but it may be too little quantity of tokens. So by default, out of the box, we have 20. And let me show how it works. So let's say we want to deal with, let's say we have customer, this is sales demo, Alta Ace, Amelia Armstrong, and this is a question which they ask. How many items were invoiced for the invoice such and such? And I have this in the subject. And what will happen after I will click on button save? ChatGPT, like we written a code which collects information, 20 latest sales orders, 20 shipments, 20 latest invoices, customer balance. And this question will be asked for ChatGPT, like, listen, this is question I have, this is data I have in the system, give me the answer. And this is regulated by this checkbox, ChatGPT answer, and it is also regulated by class ID. Prod sub in, as you can see here, we have default class ID, default cases class ID. So this is so how it will behave. As you see right now, activities is empty section, and when I click on button save, it takes a bit of time for it to be executed. Now you see case is created because case ID is generated, but we still await for reply from ChatGPT. And now when I go to activities, Here you can see a reply from chat generated completely by ChatGPT. What it says, based on provided information, customer name is such and such, and invoice this one. It says total amount is like that. And it seems like this specific invoice is not included into this data set. So I may need to look on more modern invoice in order to understand what it has. But overall, what it gives you, like with this functionality, you can ask ChatGPT to, like you can have ChatGPT answering on questions from customers, and we can fine-tune what we want to get reply. Let me generate another activity. Let's say I will remove this section. Here I provide 50 latest invoices. I will make execution one more time. And a bit of patience. Especially want to mention that with ChatGPT, it may be required because its API is not instantaneous unless you have enterprise license. Also want to mention, yeah. And now you can see, because I increased quantity of invoices which I analyze, here we have information what was quantity of items, and this is ChatGPT reply. Because now in the second request, ChatGPT received information. Let's check how accurate it is. So copy. I'm duplicating that. Invoices. By the way, if you have any questions, comments, feel free to put them in the chat. It will give me a bit more motivation to answer or to show. So here we have invoices, and we are looking for invoice, this one. And let's see. So this is pretty big invoice, and we see it have plenty of items. And what reply ChatGPT generated? First item, food, cheap, 36. This one is correct. Honestly speaking, I'm worried now how good ChatGPT analyzes this data set, because ChatGPT has, if to look in this section, it has temperature parameter. What temperature parameter means is how creative ChatGPT will be when it will give information. The lower the number, the more creative ChatGPT will be, but quality of response may be not precise. And this temperature parameter often named hallucination parameter. So that's one section to keep in mind. Let's continue. So first item, this one. Second item, food. One moment. So this is the second item. And here we see second item, Hershey chocolate kisses, food chalk. And here we have food chalk. So second item is also correct. Does having ChatGPT integrated into Acumatica give me more assurance around protecting proprietary information instead of me using it directly? I will answer on this question, or I will give you my suggestion. So let's continue. Item number 3, food something 12. Yeah, Coca-Cola. Then I will skip other items for the sake of time and look for fruit sugar lightest one. And yeah, 9 item, food sugar. 9. Therefore, there were a total of 28 plus 6 plus 42 plus 20, 228 items. If I go back here, I just want to see if quantities are correct. Quantity, 28, 6, 42, 20. 28, 6, 42, 20. And I want to compare latest one, 48, 48, 14. Quantity, 48, 48, 14. So as you can see, on this question, if you have ChatGPT integration, if customer asks question like how many items were invoiced for the invoice AR such and such, it will give you a reply. Now I'm looking on question Nathaniel Torrey. Does having ChatGPT integrated into Acumatica give more assurance around protecting proprietary information? I would say, or my opinion, it will be like quality of protection will be the same as you use it directly. I hardly can imagine it will be better. So let's say if you use ChatGPT, like if you are not very secure in usage of your computer, then hackers can break in and steal information. And if you are extra careful, then basically weakest chain will be hacking your computer in order to see what you sent. So it will be basically corporate culture. That would be my my thinking. Let me show you one interesting feature of ChatGPT, which may be interesting. And let's say your customer sends question in Ukrainian. My native is Ukrainian. So we create case, we create this question. As you see, it is in Ukrainian. I need also to say something here. I say this. I click on save. And now we need to wait a bit. And I have a question for you. How do you think, how good ChatGPT is with Ukrainian language? Does it know it or not? And before I show anything, I want to read at least one reply in chat. Just guess. I can go, of course, without, but I'm kind of intrigued. I'm guessing relative to other languages good. Okay. And here, what I can say, reply is in English, which honestly is disappointing. But let's say I will add statement in Ukrainian. Bad PR if it was. Yeah. And I will type Я хочу Like I will type, I won't answer in Ukrainian because I don't understand English. Now I click on save. A bit of patience. But PR. I like your answer, Nathaniel. Definitely. Bad PR. Especially now taking into account how many noise happens around Ukraine. But honestly speaking, when I checked ChatGPT, it understands Ukrainian quite well, but there are some missing gaps which is a bit disappointing. So activities, unfortunately, still ChatGPT gives answer in English. So, but what you can see from that, if your customer asks question in Ukrainian, it will still understand the question, answer will be correct, but it will be in English, which is not fantastic, but it is what it is. So this is one of the ways. And what kind of questions ChatGPT understands? It understands plenty of them. For example, you can ask what is average value of something, or how many documents have status cancelled, whatever. But just one limitation, analysis will happen for the latest 50 documents, latest 50 invoices, if we speak about this ChatGPT. What else? So a couple of words on pricing. If just want to say, if you are not on enterprise plan, you will have no GPT-4. If you are on standard billable, you will get this one. This is what, by the way, we also use, but this is something like kind of limitation. And now I want to show you another pretty cool feature, which I'm kind of proud of, is an analysis of generic inquiries. And what I mean when I say analysis of generic inquiry, so Acumatica has different generic inquiries. And for example, if we speak about generic inquiry, one moment, I'm just looking a good example. One moment. Example, we speak about generic inquiry cases. Or let's start from AM bill of material. So I select bill of material, and here you can see let me preload 90. We preload 90 items. Here we have 90 rows, well, basically smaller than 90 rows of generic inquiry AM bill of material. And here I have prompt, analyze data below, and provide useful information for CEO. So let's say you're a lazy CEO and you want to get hints about the generic inquiry. Imagine that you see this generic inquiry first time in your life. You don't understand fully meaning of columns of that generic inquiry. And what you can do, you can use ChatGPT in order to analyze it. So what code behind the curtains does, it looks, it basically serializes this grid and sends question to ChatGPT, and here is information which ChatGPT gives. And what it says, the data is related to the bill of materials in Acumatica asset management. Well, I would say sounds useless. BOM ID is unique identifier for each bill of material. Well, this may give some kind of understanding. Then kind of different ideas, and then based on this information, CEO can analyze BOM, their components, and their statuses to gain insight. So this is kind of suggestion from ChatGPT on what CEO can take a look and try to figure out. Let me try with another generic inquiry. I want cases. I want to analyze cases. And let's say this one. I have data preloaded, different one. And what kind of question we may ask? Let me put 300 for this. And let's say we ask this question. I have it prepared before. So what it says, how many cases are related to the business account AA customer? Let me ask ChatGPT this question, like go through this generic inquiry, do analysis, and ChatGPT says there are 6 cases that are related to the business account AA customer. So this may kind of simplify analysis of cases. And let me give you another question, which you can, in natural language form, ask GPT. How many cases have a subject that contains the word upgrade? And it says there are 48 cases that have a subject that contains word upgrade. So that's kind of activities which you can make. Another kind of questions which you can ask from ChatGPT would be, let's say, orders. And let me make it. We have plenty of sales orders, and you can ask ChatGPT which of provided orders may look suspicious and why. So if you want kind of free analysis, well, it will not be free, you will pay for API call, but which orders may look suspicious and why, you click on Get ChatGPT Analysis. And here it says, like, the orders that may look suspicious is this one. Why? Because it has significantly higher order total compared to the other order. The order total is such and such, which is much larger than the other orders that range from this number to this number. So as you can see, ChatGPT goes through this information, it goes through those sales orders, and it looks on the number. Even if number looks scary, it is able to figure out outliers. Or another request, maybe top or let's say low 5 percentile of orders by order total. You can get all of that information, of course, through generic inquiry building by yourself, but you can get it also through ChatGPT. Just wait a bit. Oh, and by the way, while it loads, here we have also this large order total may indicate an abnormal or potentially fraudulent transaction. So you can use ChatGPT for analysis of your orders and make sure that and here it gives explanation and orders in top low percentile. Not very readable, honestly speaking, but as if you want in natural language ask a question and get reply, that's quite useful. And final activity which I want to show is rephrasing. What I mean when I say rephrasing, let's say I click on create email, and let's say I say here give you a discount 10%. So let's say your support personnel wants to write a reply to your customer, and he is not very polite. He needs some training on that. One of the ways how you can improve it, you basically give ChatGPT prompt. I want to make the answer more polite. Rephrase the text below to make it as polite as possible. And then you click on improve answer. And you see this answer sounds much more polite. I apologize, but I'm unable to offer you a discount of 10% at this time. So this is again a couple of ways how you can use ChatGPT in Acumatica in order to improve your customer satisfaction through automation of communication with customer based on latest sales orders. You can use it for rephrasing answers to sound more elegant. ChatGPT is also good in formatting of the data, and you can have ChatGPT analyze your generic inquiries and give you practical and useful insights based on the data. That's all what I wanted to demonstrate. Now I'm open for questions, comments. I'm not sure if people can unmute themselves or not.
Hi, I just wanted to pop in and say people cannot unmute themselves, but you can go through and just look at the chat, and if anyone has any questions, they'll pop up right there.
Okay, I don't see any question.
I don't either.
Okay, so then it seems presentation was very boring. Nobody has questions, which is disappointing, but it is what it is. Nicole. Oh, Nicole has a comment. Really? Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm happy to hear that. Okay, I'm very happy to read these comments. Generate long product descriptions for items on a website. Nicole, I can say it is definitely possible to achieve. And there are libraries of prompts which people use for generating long product descriptions. And as proof of concept for one of our customers, we work on improving product descriptions for Amazon sellers, which will help product to be more searchable via Amazon. Thank you, Heather and Jenny, for nice words, kind words. So going back to proprietary question, what gives people the assurance that a competitor can't ask ChatGPT info about your company? Maybe I'm misunderstanding how ChatGPT works, but I can imagine people might be nervous. Well, basically, Nathaniel, if to speak, I'm kind of extra careful person when I speak about absolute guarantee. But if some people ask about your company question into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT and that information was in public access, definitely it will provide an answer. For example, let's say, give me 5 facts about Microsoft. Kind of funny question. This. So if your company is as famous as Microsoft and that information was used on ChatGPT and you do not instruct your ChatGPT to learn your data, then ChatGPT will give information about your company. But if it is not, so then basically ChatGPT gives commitment and promises that information about your company, questions which is asked by your company, will not be shared by someone else. And that is more question. Let's say if you own a server, it does not. Yes, Nathaniel, it does not make it generally available. It is stored in like between you and ChatGPT, and ChatGPT, according to their license, they delete. Like, first of all, ChatGPT does not use that information, like corporate information, for training. They will not preserve that information forever. I believe they mentioned that 30 days and it will be, of course, they say. I will give you another example from this standpoint. Amazon or Microsoft or whatever company, like cloud technologies, like Acumatica is stored in Amazon. How reliable is Amazon storage in comparison with your corporate storage? What we have is basically what Amazon say. And whose saying is more reliable? Saying of Amazon or saying of OpenAI? I'm not the good person to answer on that. Yeah, this is something. But overall, there are plenty of large language models on GitHub, which claim to have good quality. Okay, it seems I need to round up. Okay, so then just a couple of more words about that. Large language models. There are plenty of large language models which kind of mimic ChatGPT. Some claim even to be better than ChatGPT, some claim not to be better than ChatGPT, but that's totally another question. Okay, I'm thankful to everybody who come in this presentation. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'm very happy to read that you like it. In such case, I will not hold you more. Enjoy with the rest of with the rest of event. Bye everybody.